Hi, all. Welcome to the fourth episode of our Masterclass series for the year 2024. I'm Alexandria from the ServiceDesk Plus team, and I'll be your trainer for today's session. Firstly, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to attend this session. And for those of you who've been attending the previous episodes of the series, welcome back. And for those of you who are new, if you'd like to catch up on what we've covered so far this year, you can always visit our YouTube channel to watch the previous episodes and get started. So, in today's episode, we'll be talking about enterprise service management. We'll be exploring how you can extend proven ITSM best practices to the other business functions that your organization would have. To get started, let me set some context for you. So, what is ESM, or why does your organization need enterprise service management? So, ESM allows you the luxury to have multiple service desk instances for the different business functions or departments that your organization would have, so that you focus not just on IT, but on the efficient delivery of services across all of your enterprise departments. So, these departments could include your HR, facilities, payroll, travel, legal, and so on. So you'd essentially be extending proven ITSM best practices to all of these other departments. So that's what we'll be delving into in today's session. We'll be looking at the fundamentals of building your own enterprise service management portal and how you can run it efficiently with ServiceDesk Plus. So this way you'd be able to provide unified end user experiences across all of your departments. So, with that, let me take you into the agenda for today's episode. So, first, I'll be walking you through how you can set up your own ESM directory, which will help you record all of your organization details in Service Desk Plus. And you can also add and manage users and their access permissions across all instances. So, then we'll be looking at how you can get your organization domains verified in Service Desk Plus, how you can import users from your Active Directory into Service Desk Plus, and also how you can enable SAML authentication for your end users to ensure seamless login experiences. And once you're done importing users from your Active Directory and once you're done defining the authentication processes, then we'll move on to the next segment where we look at how you can create and launch unique service desk instances for the different business functions you'd have. And finally, we'll look at how you can customize your enterprise self-service portal as per your requirements. So before we elaborate on all of these areas, let's have a quick poll. So I'd like to know how the other enterprise departments in your organization, be it HR, facilities, payroll, or legal, handle their service management. So do they use any in-house tools, or do they rely on legacy tools like spreadsheets, or do they already use our ESM solution, or are they using any other software? I'll keep this poll open for the next 15 seconds. Kindly drop in your answers. Thank you for participating in the poll. So I hope that you find this session useful no matter where you are in your ESM journey. So with that, let's get started. So as I mentioned in the agenda, first I'll be walking you through how you can set up your own ESM directory with all of the basic configurations and how you can add and manage users and their access permissions across the different instances that you'd have. So let me now quickly take you into the application. All right, so right now we are in the ESM portal. So this is a central console from where you can view and access the different instances that your organization would have. So we'll be looking at how you can build and customize this portal in the later part of the session. But for now, let me show you how you can get started with your ESM directory. So when you're in the ESM portal, you can navigate to your ESM directory from the top right corner. Or if you're inside one of your instances, you can simply click on the Instances button at the top left corner. And if you have org admin privileges, you'd be able to access this particular section, which will help you navigate to your ESM directory. So right now we are in the ESM directory. So this is what your ESM directory would look like in ServiceDesk Plus. So this is a central repository that will help you record all of your organization details. You can add and manage users and their access permissions from a unified console. You can import users from your Active Directory into ServiceDesk Plus, And you can also define the authentication and authorization processes as to how your users should access ServiceDesk Plus. So right now, these are all the different tabs that we have on the panel to the left, right? So let's go over each of them. The first section would be your organization details. So this helps you record all of the essential details of your organization. So you can specify your organization name, you can give in your location details, your primary contact details, and you can also customize the portal with your own brand logo. So all you have to do is click on change image and upload your logo, which would then be reflected at the top left corner of your portal, or if you're inside one of your instances, when you click on the instances button, you can see your logo from here as well. So going back into the ESM directory, once you're done filling in all of the details, you can then go ahead and add users to your directory. So from here, you can view the list of users who are part of your organization, and you can also add new users. So when I click on this button, it would then ask me to fill in certain details, right? So mandatory details like the user's name, their email, I can specify their contact details, and also set some customization. So the time zone that they'd operate in, their preferred language. And apart from this, I can also choose to give the user org admin privileges as well. So when I enable this toggle, this user would then be given control over the ESM directory and also the common configurations that you can do from your ESM directory. They'd also be able to create new service desk instances as well. So this would differ from your SD admin role in the sense that your SD admin would have control over the configurations within a particular instance, whereas your org admin would have control over the common configurations that you can do in your ESM directory. So once I'm done filling in all of the details, I can go ahead and click on Save. So now an invitation will be sent to the user via email, and under the Invited Users tab, I can track all of the users who have been sent the invitation and also track the status of the invitation as well. So if the invitation is left unattended to, it would then expire in a few days, right? So in that case, if you'd like to re-invite the user, all you have to do is select the user and click on re-invite. And under the inactive users tab, I get to track all of the users who no longer have access to my service desk instances. So coming back to our list of active users, apart from adding users, I can also edit certain fields. So I can select the user and edit the time zone, the language, and also the country. And I can also delete users from my directory as well. So say, for example, one of your users, they forget their password and they raise a request to reset their password. So in that case, you can easily fulfill that request right from your ESM directory by simply selecting the user and clicking on Change Password. So you can specify the new password details, and you can also sign them out from all the devices that they're currently logged into. So once you're done adding users to your ESM directory, you can then go ahead and configure their access permissions to the different instances that you'd have. So to do that, all you have to do is select your users, and you can add them in bulk to a specific instance. So you'd click on Add Users to Instance, and you can select a specific instance from the dropdown. So likewise, you can also remove users from an instance as well. So this is how you can manually add users to your ESM directory. Now let's say your organization uses an identity and access management solution like Azure, and you'd like to import and sync user data from your Azure directory into ServiceDesk Plus. You can do that by simply clicking on this button and selecting Import from Azure. So to be able to do this, you'd require global admin privileges in your Azure account. So we'll be looking at how you can do all of this in detail in a bit, but there's one thing that you have to know before you can even import users from your Active Directory into ServiceDesk Plus. So you have to get your organization domains verified before you can even import users into ServiceDesk Plus. So your organization might own and manage multiple domains, and you'd have different URLs and email addresses containing those domain names, right? So for us to be able to validate that those domains are indeed yours, or for you to be able to import users from your Active Directory into ServiceDesk Plus and enable SAML authentication, you'd first have to get these domains verified in ServiceDesk Plus. So first you can go ahead and add in your domain. So you'd click on new domain and give in your domain name. So say, for example, my organization's name is Zilker. So let me give in the domain name as zilker.com. So once that is done, the next step would be to get the domain verified. So you can track the status as click to verify, right? So when I click on that, I'd then be provided with a CNAME and a destination URL. So these values I can carry over to my domain hosting site. I can save it there and get it verified in my in ServiceDesk Plus. So you can either have your users access ServiceDesk Plus by using the default URL, or you can also customize the URL to represent your brand name. So to do that, you can go to Organization URLs tab, and then I click on New Custom URL. So over here, I can give in a subdomain. So let's say help desk. And let's assume that zilker.com is now a verified domain, right? So I can select one of the verified domains from this dropdown. And when I click on verify and save, the custom URL would now look like helpdesk.zilker.com. So likewise, you can create multiple custom URLs for the different instances that you'd be creating. So once domain verification is done, you can then go ahead and import users from your Active Directory into ServiceDesk Plus. So like I said earlier, one of the prerequisites for you to be able to import users is to have at least one of your domains verified. So now that your domain is verified, you can then go ahead and leverage the provisioning tool to import and sync user data from your local Active Directory into ServiceDesk Plus. So if you'd like to know in detail about the steps that you'll have to configure, you can go ahead and refer to this particular site. So likewise, for SAML authentication as well, one of the prerequisites is to have at least one of your organization domains verified in ServiceDesk Plus. So once that is done, you can then go ahead and set up the basic SAML configuration. So you can bring in your identity provider's login and logout URLs. You can choose the certificate and click on Save. So now let's say your organization uses an Azure directory to manage its users, right? You can go ahead and import your users directly from Azure. So as we saw earlier, all you have to do is select this particular option and you'd require global admin privileges in your Azure account. So with this option, you'd be able to sync basic user data like your user's name and also their email. Now let's say you'd like to fetch in additional data apart from these attributes, right? You can also do that by simply enabling a couple of integrations in ServiceDesk Plus. So let me show you how that is done. Let me go into one of my instances and navigate to the setup icon that you see here. So let me go to apps and add-ons and click on integrations. So when I enable the Microsoft Azure integration, I'd then be able to fetch additional data like data with regards to the user's site, the department that they operate in, their contact details, and so on. So now let's say you'd like to periodically sync user data from your Azure directory into ServiceDesk Plus, or you'd like to import users based on certain criteria, or even enable dynamic addition of users into your ESM directory, right? You can go ahead and enable the Azure AD user sync integration. So once that is done, you can go ahead and configure your sync frequency. You can set the actions that have to be performed in ServiceDesk Plus when users are deleted or moved to trash in your Azure directory. So you can either choose to do nothing about it, you can revoke their login, or also remove the user as well. You can also enable dynamic addition of users from your Azure directory into ServiceDesk Plus by custom mapping your Azure directory fields with ServiceDesk Plus fields. And apart from that, You can also import users based on certain criteria as well. So in this case, only when their accounts are enabled, will you be able to import users from your Azure directory into ServiceDesk Plus. So this is all about importing your users from your Azure directory into your ESM directory. So let's now quickly go back to our deck and see what we've covered so far. So first we saw how you can get started with your ESM directory by recording all of your organizational details. We then saw how you can add and manage users and their access permissions from the ESM directory. We then saw how you can import users from your Azure directory into Service Desk Plus. And we also saw how you can get your organization domains verified and also enable SAML authentication for your users. So in the next segment, we'll be looking at how you can create and launch unique service desk instances for the different business functions that your organization would have. And we'll also look at how you can manage all of these instances from a central console. So let me take you back into the application. All right, so right now we are in the ESM portal, right? So this is a central console from where you can view and access all the different instances that your organization offers. So let's now look at how you can create a brand new instance in Service Desk Plus. So again, I'd navigate to the ESM directory and then go to the Service Desk Instances tab. So over here, I can view the different instances that I currently have, right? So we have individual workspaces for the different service desks that the organization offers. So we have one for IT, for HR, for facilities, and even legal. So to create a new instance, all I have to do is click on New Instance, and it would then ask me to fill in certain details. So first, it asks me to give in the display name. So this name would be reflected when you navigate into a specific instance. So as you can see at the top left corner, we can view the name of the instance, right? So for now, let me give in the name as HR Help Desk for New York. So once that is done, I can give in a brief description, and I can also have a URL name. So as you can see, the different instances we have, right, they have their own URL names. So this would be populated automatically when you navigate into a particular instance. So say, for example, over here you can see IT desk, right? So you need not worry about what values you give here, because at the end of the day, your users will be provided with your custom URL anyway. So the redirection will happen as and when you navigate into a particular instance. So for now, let me give in the URL name as HR Help New York. I can select the type of instance that this would be. So in this case, it would be an HR Help Desk. I can also set the time zone that the users must view the instance in. I can also assign an owner as well. So this user would be automatically provided with SD admin privileges for that particular instance. And once that is done, I can go ahead and configure the access permissions. So I can either have everyone in the organization be able to access this instance, or I can restrict it to specific users as well. So in this case, we'd only want users from the New York region to be able to access this instance. Once that is done, I can go ahead and bring in the custom URL that we just created and click on Create. So it's as simple as that for us to create a brand new instance, right? So for each of the instance that you create, they can have their own set of users. You can give them their own customizations, build their own workflows, and they can even come with a list of pre-built templates that are very specific to that particular business function. So to explain all of this, let me go into the instance that we just created. So this would then ask me to set up all of the basic configurations to get my instance up and running. So if you'd like to know what these configurations would entail, you can go ahead and watch one of our previous episodes where we go into detail on how you can set up all of these basic configurations. So for now, let me quickly skip all of this and directly get into my instance. Now let me navigate to Setup to show you the list of pre-built templates that this particular instance would come with. So under templates and forms, let me click on incident template. So over here, we have a list of very purpose-built templates that are very specific to the HR department. For example, we have templates that users can use to raise a request to replace their damaged ID card, or even with regards to their appraisal issues as well. So again, this list of templates can differ for a different instance, right? So for example, let me go into my facilities instance. And over here, you can see that we have a completely different list of templates, right? Templates that are very specific to the facilities department. So this is how you can have unique instances that differ from each other in terms of the pre-built templates that they come with. So apart from this, you can also have very function-specific modules. So modules that would be very specific to that department. So for example, let me go into my IT instance. And over here on the panel to the left, right, we can view all the different modules we have access to. So you can see we have dedicated modules for problem management as well as change management. So your IT team, to drill down into what is causing the incidents in the first place, can go ahead and leverage their problem management module. And once they come up with a solution, they can leverage change management to go ahead and implement the changes to their infrastructure. So these modules you wouldn't find in a different instance, say your HR instance, because these aren't very specific to your HR department. So another example would be in your facilities instance. So for example, I'm in my facilities instance right now. When I click on more, I'd be able to view a dedicated module just for space management. So with this, I can govern my organization's space utilization across different levels like campuses, structures, floors, and even individual rooms. I also have a space tree that would give me a consolidated view where I can visualize how these spaces are connected with each other. I can view the occupancy rate, and I can also view the tickets that are associated. So this particular module you wouldn't find in a different instance, say your HR instance. So this is how your instances can again differ with each other based on the business function that you created for, right? So let's quickly go back to our deck and see what we've covered. So first we saw how you can create different types of instances for the different business functions that you'd have. We then saw how you can configure access permissions for the instances that you create. And we also saw how these instances would differ from each other in terms of the pre-built templates that they come with, or even the function-specific modules that they'd have. So now we are in the final segment of the session, where we look at how you can customize your ESM portal as well as the different self-service portals that your requesters would log into. So let me go back into the application. All right, so right now we are in the ESM portal, right? So this is where we've been navigating to this page quite often. So these are all the different elements that we have over here right now. So we have the instances that we can access, we have some text, a simple background, and also a unified search bar. So we'll be looking at how you can leverage this unified search bar in a bit. But for now, this is the layout that we have. So this is the default layout that the ESM portal would come with out of the box. You can also customize what this page should look like for your users. So to do that, let me go into my ESM directory. And let me navigate to the ESM portal section. So over here, we have two different options. So one, you can customize what the portal should look like. And two, you can also choose your organization's preferred landing page. So you can either have you can direct your users to the ESM portal when they access ServiceDesk Plus, or you can redirect them to a specific instance as well. So say, for example, your users would be accessing the IT help desk for the most part. You can go ahead and redirect them to the instance directly. So coming back to customizing the portal, when I click on customize the portal, I'd then be given, let me quickly refresh my page. All right. So I'd be shown three different options, right? A code view, which is a simple HTML editor where I can modify the code. A preview where I can view the changes that have been made. and also a split view with both the code view and the preview. So this way I can track all of the changes made to the code in real time. So you can go ahead and modify your code and bring in your own text. You can have your own background and also bring in specific widgets and do a whole lot more. So if you have any scripting needs, you can always reach out to us at hello@servicedeskplus.com, and we'd be more than happy to help you customize your ESM portal the way you'd like. So once you're done modifying the code, you can then go ahead and click on Save and Publish. The changes would then be reflected in your user's ESM portal. So this is all about customizing your ESM portal. So likewise, you can also customize your requester's home page in the different self-service portals that they would log into. So with multiple instances that they can access, they would be directed to different home pages depending on the instance that they log into, right? So for example, let me take you into my requester account. So this is the home page of my IT self-service portal. So from here, I can report an issue, I can raise a new service request, or I can also browse through my knowledge base. Apart from that, I have these widgets that would let me view details of my assets, view the announcements that the organization makes, and also a summary of my tickets as well. So this home page would differ in a different instance, say for example, your HR instance. So this is the home page of my HR self-service portal, right? Very different from what we saw with the IT self-service portal. So this is because different departments would require different information from their end users. They'd like to display different information to their users, right? So it's not a best practice to have a generic homepage for all of your instances. So you can customize what these should look like for the different instances that you create. So let me show you how that is done. Let me go into my admin account again and navigate into Setup. And under General Settings, let me click on Requester Portal and navigate to Requester Portal Customization. So here as well, we have two different options, right? We can either customize the self-service portal using a simple drag and drop interface, or I can also leverage predefined templates and themes and build upon them with minimal HTML skills. So when I click on Configure and the edit icon that you see here, it would again show me three different options, right? The code view, a preview, and a split view where I can track all of the changes made in real time. I can also go ahead and select a predefined template from over here as well. Or if I'd like to bring in a different image, I can simply go to Gallery and click on Upload Image. So apart from this, I can also leverage different attributes to perform different actions. So say, for example, I'd like to create requests from within the home page. I can leverage this attribute. I can report incidents, and I can also browse through the knowledge base and view different solution articles as well. I can also bring in different widgets. So with these widgets, my users would be able to view the announcements that the organization makes right from their homepage. They can view the asset details, view a summary of their tickets, and even access the most used service templates. So this way, they wouldn't have to navigate into their service catalog and scour through a list of templates. Instead, they can find what they need right from their homepage. So apart from this, I can also bring in URL widgets as well. So say, for example, your organization uses a third-party site to manage its knowledge articles, right? You can simply bring in that URL into ServiceDesk Plus as an interactive widget. And this way, your users will be able to access those knowledge articles right from their homepage. So once you're done making all of the changes and customizing the portal the way you like, you can go ahead and click on Save and Publish. So this is all about customizing your requester's homepage in their self-service portals. So going back into my ESM portal, one such element that we have over here is the unified search bar. So this would help me search for information across all of the instances. So this way I wouldn't have to navigate into a particular instance to find what I need, but I can do all of that right from within my ESM portal. So for example, let's say I'm facing issues with my Wi-Fi and I'd like to report that issue. So when I type in Wi-Fi, it would then pull in data from all of the available instances, right? So I can view the announcements that have been made with regards to this issue. I can even view solution articles that can help me get this incident sorted. Or I can also view the templates that I can fill in to log my ticket. So I can do all of this right from within my ESM portal, right? I wouldn't have to navigate into a specific instance to log in my issue. So you can go ahead and search across announcements, solutions, and even request templates. So we've come to the end of this segment. Let's go ahead and look at or have a quick recap of what we've seen so far. So first we saw how you can get started with your ESM directory by recording all of your organizational details in ServiceDesk Plus. We then saw how you can import users from your local Active Directory or Azure AD into ServiceDesk Plus. We then saw how you can add and manage users and their access permissions from a unified console. We saw how you can get your organization domains verified and also how you can create custom URLs for the different instances you create as well. We then saw how you can enable SAML authentication for your end users to ensure seamless login experiences. And in the next segment, we saw how you can create unique service desk instances for the different business functions you'd have. We saw how you can configure the access permissions for the instances that you create, and also how these instances would be very unique and differ from each other in terms of the templates that they come with or even the function-specific modules that they'd have. And then we saw how you can customize your ESM portal as well as the different self-service portals that you'd have for different business functions. And finally, we saw how you can leverage the unified search bar to search across instances right from your ESM portal. If you'd like to know more about ServiceDesk Plus, you can always visit our support portal where you can refer to our admin guides. Or if you'd like to know what's new in the product, you can refer to our release notes. Or if you have any further questions, or if you'd like to share any feedback, you can always write to us at hello@servicedeskplus.com, and we'll be more than happy to help you out. Thank you for attending this session. I hope that it was a useful one. Thank you.